Well, there's another rogue nation in the news this week as President Trump calls out Iran and the nuclear deal as one of the worst deals ever made. But several European leaders pledging to stay in the deal no matter what we do, and they are providing Iran with billions of dollars in trade. So, Rich, would canceling the deal really make much of a difference?
Economically, maybe not, but you still have to cancel it. Is the right thing to do. One of the important things is that it reassures our best ally in the Middle East, Israel, that we are with them, something that the Obama administration wasn't so sure about. Every other trading partner that we have, Saudi Arabia, the Gulf states, they're terrified of an Iran-dominated Middle East. So it was the right thing to say.
Well, David, a lot of the damage has already been done, in particular giving so much money or giving access to so much more money, $100 billion they immediately had access to, the Iranians, after the deal broke. So has the damage been done?
Well, I don't think, first of all, the deal's only been in place for a year, and we have to see, and I haven't heard any evidence of damage being done. And with $100 billion being released to them that was formerly seized or on hold, I don't see yet being a problem. That said, I think we have to look also domestically. You know, when you criticize something, you better have something to replace it with or a solution. And we see domestically with health care, Trump and the Republicans have had two chances
at
having an alternative.
Let's stay on point with Iran. Go ahead.
But I'm using that as an example. Domestically, to spill over to foreign policy, you don't want to criticize something, and I have not seen a solution from the Trump administration on what would contain in place of the Iran deal, contain their what was their drive to getting a nuclear weapon.
Well, Bill Baldwin,
so that's what we have to think about.
The bottom line is that the Europeans are not going to help us, no matter what we do, because they are getting tons of money now. Now, with the Iranian deal, imports and exports have increased dramatically with the Europeans, and they're in it for the money, frankly.
Well, I think it'd be a fine idea if the world got the sense that the U.S. is not going to be the same pushover it used to be in dealing with thuggish nations like Iran or Cuba. And by the way, if there are French and German companies sending machinery to Iran that could be used to make bombs, I think it'd be great if we publicized that.
Well, John, this is the future of our existence, really, that's hanging in the balance here, no?
I don't think so. I'm not sure what's America first about getting ourselves so involved in the dysfunctional part of the world. But the bigger thing is here. I didn't like the deal under Obama because I think it needlessly legitimizes a nation that's not very legitimate. And so I think the fact that we've got to negotiate with a country to be good means that the agreement's not worth the paper it's printed on. Just cancel it because it's worthless.
Well, Sabrina, both David and John see the danger as insignificant to the United States. But on Friday, there was another one of these military parades they had in Tehran, at which they emphasized their intercontinental ballistic missiles, which now have a range of 1,200 miles. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it's enough to hit Israel, Saudi Arabia, and a lot of other allies.
Yeah, David, I think that this deal has a lot of problems, but not for the reasons that John does. I think we do want to legitimize this country because it's very frightening. Like, this is a dictatorship that's sort of dressed up as a democracy, and we know it's not. My concern with the deal, however, is that it gives us a false sense of security, that somehow because we have this deal in place that we're better off, that we're safer. Why are we ignoring, Saudi Arabia, for instance, which is very much the same threat to us? So I worry that sometimes we have these deals and we tie them up with a pretty bow, and then we're like, okay, problem solved, when in reality it's not, and we're better off tearing it up and starting over again. All
right, Steve, I left you for last because you're the diplomat here. You're going to put all this together for us. Should we be as concerned with Iran as Donald Trump seems to be? I mean, after all, there is strong evidence that they've been working with North Korea on a nuclear plan of some sort. So even if they're not doing stuff right now nuclear-oriented in Iran, they may be doing it with their proxies over North Korea.
Look at the headlines in the last few months, David. Do we want another North Korea, this time in the Middle East, volatile Middle East? That's where Iran's going. They've made that clear from the get-go. So, yes, tear it up, put the pressures on. And as for those European companies, do they want to trade with us or with Iran? I think they'll go with us at the end of the day.
And, Rich, I have to say that their existence is maybe not hanging in the balance. That might be too dramatic, but is at least at stake partially in what happens here, no?
Well, you said it exactly right. I mean, a missile with a 1,200-mile range is a significant event. You nuclear tip that, and suddenly Europe is under threat.